Oh man, we haven't even gone on the air yet, and already the foolishness had started. So we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about the Battle of Montgomery. Happy Friday, everybody. Oh my goodness. Oh man. You know what? Okay, so first of all, it is good. It is good to be back home despite the fact that it is hotter than all get out in Texas. And we're having some rolling brownouts here up in North Texas. It's good to be home because I know I have stable internet service. So that's great, right? Like that's awesome. That's so awesome. And I'm only laughing because of today's topic. It gives me a little charge, just a little charge. And I told my mother that I would try not to use any vulgarities today. And she was like, you better not. So we'll see. We'll see what we do. So hello, welcome. I am Gwendolyn G. R. Houston Jack. This is Girl Listen. And we are streaming live to Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And of course, if you're on YouTube, we would love for you to like, share, and subscribe because, we actually have fun here. We actually have fun doing what we do, which is talking about all the things that I don't know. No, I do know. I have an opinion, like everybody. I have an opinion about some of the things that we do in American society. So we're going to talk about it. But let's shout out to our community. Obviously, my mama's here. My mama's here, and I'm going to watch my tongue. I'm going to watch my tongue. We also have Black Eighth Element. He is here as well. We got Gary Jackson. Hello, Gary. Thanks for tuning in. We got Spencer B in the building. Hello. And yes, we're going to keep it PG-13. I think I can do it. I shouldn't think. I know I can do it. I know I can. Question is, am I going to? Oh, the Battle of Montgomery, the riverboat brawl. I don't know. Like, what other names have you guys heard about the foolishness that went down on the riverfront? On the riverfront. The question of the day, let me just go ahead and put that. The question of the day is, if you witnessed someone being assaulted by a mob, would you jump in? Right? Like what would you do? Because, I'm not normally one to watch these things. I'm not gonna lie to you because it's just, but this one, it was different because it was like this all-out melee. It's an all-out melee. And I thought to myself, what in God's great name is happening right now? Like, what is the deal? But when you see how it started, it changes everything. It changes how you may actually feel about vigilante justice. Now, we just had this conversation. We just had it. We were talking about sometimes you have to take matters into your own hands, right? Which we know is illegal. Yes, hitting other people is not right. We know that. We know it. But again, what would you do if you witness what happened that weekend? That here is a guy doing his job. The signs clearly say that this is reserved for, this other vessel. And because some of us feel entitled, we just do whatever it is we want to do and act as if someone cannot hold us accountable. So we decide, I'm gonna park my little boat here anyway. And if this guy comes and says otherwise, or anybody else says otherwise, I'm not gonna listen to that person. That's clearly what went down. Like it was ridiculous. right? But what really got me was here was this one person and like a little teenage guy who was like, I guess his assistant or whatever, trying to just do their job, just doing their job. And these people, thugs, I'm gonna go ahead and call it what it is. These thugs, because I don't want to use other stuff, because my mom was watching. These thugs attack this man doing his job. And so when you look at the video, there are people like on the top railing or the dock, whatever, and they're looking. Everybody has their cell phone. Okay, we gotta talk about that too. But then there was a guy, one or two, who ran down. We know the dude jumped off the boat. Aquaman jumped off the boat and swam over. And I'm just like, in what world are we so entitled that we can attack other people and then walk away like we showed you, as if nothing is going to happen based on those actions? That's the state of the world that we're living in. And let me just go back real quick. Let me go back really quick because I want to make sure we're clear about the environment right now. Like, we know we have ex-president who has no problem threatening other people, had no problem causing an insurrection. We know we were living in some really ridiculous times. And I don't even want to talk about the dude, who is that, up in Utah, who is threatening the president and like the FBI took him out. Like, people are losing all of their good mind if they ever had it. Let me stay focused, right? So the question is, what would you do? Like, would you walk away? Would you jump in? Now, we got some more names. What is this? Wrestling made its the way to Montgomery. Yeah, it did. I have seen more chair memes than I ever thought was possible. I mean, okay, the internet is just, I'm not creative enough to come up with these things, but God bless it. I do enjoy it. I'm not gonna lie. So Black Eighth Element says he's gonna call the cops. He's calling the cops. Hey, shout out to Danny who was tuning in, right? Gary says, hey, they thought they were thugs. You know what? They thought they were thugs. Yes, they did. They thought, I'm gonna come in here, we are gonna show this guy what the deal is, and then we're gonna walk away like ain't nothing happened. Mind you, there's a whole boat of people that are watching this take place. And can we talk about technology really quick? Because we know, depending on how old you are, we have seen more than enough times of violence against Black bodies take place. We have seen it. And a lot of us, myself included, we just figured that, okay, here's the proof of what went down. Here's the proof of somebody just putting up their hands, following the commands, and yet and still they were beaten. And let me just, if I may, I don't like to watch those videos because it's traumatizing, right? And although I was clearly not around in the days of slavery, the fact of putting the brutality of Black bodies on TV and video and watching it over and over again reminds me of the stories of how we know that these Black persons were treated, that you could put them in the town square and people would show up to see the, I'm trying to be gracious because my mom was watching, the correction of behavior. Now, I don't want to be like Ron DeSantis because, yeah. Okay, let me go back. Let me go on back and bring us some comments here. All right, Erica says, I noticed that they punched the younger white kid in the vest and was like, yeah, they did. He tried to intervene, right? He was clearly younger. They tried to intervene. They knocked him out. They were like, they just pushed him out the way and they proceeded to really beat up on the older Black gentleman, which again, this is that I want to be a thug behavior. Spencer says, so many people miss the almost ally I called him Slow Sam. Slow Sam. He seemed like he was willing until he got punched in the gut, and he was like, "No, I'll just donate to the NAACP." We can always count on Spencer to bring to light how a lot of us may feel. Okay, so let's just be honest. You know, a lot of people do talk about when you are going to be a good Samaritan, that there is now a chance of violence against you. Liable to get shot, liable to get hurt. But how far is too far, right? Because if we don't say anything, we just watch it, you know, we're assuming that the cops are going to come in time, that someone's going to come in time and put this to bed. We're assuming it. But what if you are the only other person to do something in this situation? Would you jump in? I'm a 50-50. I'm not going to lie about that. Like, I've seen myself do some stuff, and then I'm thinking, whoa, because you know how they tell you, if you've ever worked retail, like if someone's stealing something, it's not worth it, let them steal it. Your life is worth more than the materials, which is true. It is. But sometimes when it comes to fight or flight, I have witnessed that I easily go into the fight mode and I forget that I shouldn't be chasing people. I was like, Gwendolyn, what are you doing? But I'm already outside the store. And I'm like, ooh, okay, stop. Let me go back inside, because that's not smart. That part's not smart. Yeah, Erica was just saying, I was just talking about how they punched the kid in the vest. They did. So he attempted to get in there and do some things. Oh my goodness. I like how, continuing with his conversation, Slow Sam ran up, saw that smoke, and has yet to be seen again. He is still missing. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, I gotta tell you, you know, you can't write some of this stuff because it's so ridiculous. You really can't write some of this stuff. But there is a place where there can be a really good conversation here. So I read this opinion piece. It's in the New York Times. It's the Montgomery Brawl was for some a clarifying moment. And this is the part that I think about, that maybe we're at a place where we're about to have, I don't know, we may be seeing some change, right? So there's a lot of nicknames for what happened in Montgomery, and it's on the Mississippi, Alabama forefront, if you were like down there on the river. And so we know that what happened should not have happened, right? But what I really like about this opinion piece is that he brings into light the past of Black bodies being brutalized, and how in those previous moments, as a Black person, we could not intervene for fear of receiving that same treatment. If you've ever read the book by Toni Morrison, Beloved, then you'll know what we talk about, that when the gentleman's wife was being beaten, he couldn't jump in. He couldn't say anything because he was hiding. And in so many cases, they talk about how in moments of Black brutality, right? A lot of us are on the sidelines thinking, if I jump in, what happens to me? And in this one moment, a boat of Black people said, not today, Satan. Not today. They came to this man's defense. Now, we have seen some comments that said, no, they were looking for a fight. It was already over. The hell it was. No. What we're not going to do today is beat on someone, assault someone, and then walk away like whatever. Not today. That was not happening. That was not happening. So what I really want to point out about this particular opinion piece, and I do suggest, if you have the New York Times or if you have a chance to read it, go look at it, because there have been so many situations. We know about Rodney King. We know about George Floyd. Hell, I don't even know if I have all the names anymore, because it happened so many times. And for those of us, myself included, who want to still believe in the justice system, that it's going to take time, it'll work out, and they'll do what's right by us. Sometimes you got to be like, you know what, we're going to take care of this today, because we have seen the slow hands of justice time and time again disappoint us, time and time again. And so I have to wonder now, Um, is there a change on the horizon? Is there a change? I'm not really sure because, I say it again. How many times have we seen actions against African American bodies on camera and we're looking at it and then, oh, so and so just got, like a manslaughter charge and they got 5 years, and for good behavior, they got out after 3, or they were fully acquitted because they feared for their life. God bless, I was so scared. I just had to shoot him 18 times. I wasn't sure. Like, how many times have we seen that narrative play out again and again and again? So could this be a change? Because we have seen a lot of people beyond this brawl on the river, a lot of people behaving. Number of videos of people in public spaces, primarily eateries, fast food places, where they are throwing food at people, they are throwing chairs, they are doing all the things that I have to wonder if there was someone else in that room who said, oh, so we doing that today, and delivered that same, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and call it a good can of whoop ass, if they would keep doing those things. I have to wonder, because I haven't been in those places where someone is throwing food at someone because they're just so hangry, or they got my order wrong, or that they're throwing food through the fast food window. I don't even know where we got to a place where we thought that was acceptable. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, if it was to happen to me, I'm probably going to get fired. It's a very good chance, because I go to a fight first before I go to flight. This is where I'm going, and I'm not even gonna lie. There was an opportunity. there was a situation at the office where a dude bucked up. He stepped up, and I was like, "We can go." And it was just one of those things where it's a normal reaction that if you get in my face, I am going to do something. I'm sorry. Not sorry? No. So I'm just wondering, are we going to get there? Now, again, in this article, it talks about the people who witnessed the killing, the murder of George Floyd, and how it impacted them, and how they felt helpless, how they felt they could not jump in and save this man. It's a common reaction for a number of us. Do I jump in? Do I not? And in their case, they were looking at police officers, right? So I'm just wondering, if we start serving a couple of cans, would it change the behavior of people in public? Would they no longer just throw around mustard and ketchup and drinks at people, or throw hot soup in someone's face? I mean, it has gotten ridiculous. We have a lot of comments coming in. Okay, hold up. Let me get in here, because we know that Spencer is doing his thing. Hey, shout out to Hayner, who is tuning in. Hello. What's going on there, Hayner? And Danny says, depending on what it is, she would jump in. And it does. I want to say that most of us look at something and say, let me see. Because, we'll probably size up the moment and figure out, am I going to get into this? Or am I just going to just stop there and not get into it? Right? Black Eighth Element says, to me, it's about right versus wrong. The beast is bringing color in this. Yeah, I know, right? And perfect comment here. Thank you, Erica. The video did change the narrative, because if no video, they would have said that they were attacked while moving their boat. And that is where we go back to the beauty of technology, right? Cameras just show what cameras show. For the most part, they are not biased. They just show, because if you just saw the brawl, you would think, oh my God, this is so awful. I can't believe they're doing these things. But when you go back a few moments, then you realize, wait a minute, wait 1 minute. I have to admit, I changed my perception of the moment when I saw the first part. Because at that part, I would have been like, you know what? I probably would have been in there too. I'm not gonna lie. Now I'm too cute to go to jail, y'all. I just can't do it. I don't think I would make it. I just don't think I could do it. So that always comes into mind. But there comes a point where you're just like, you know what? Screw it. We're just going to do it. Dadgone it. We're going to stand up for what is right. Spencer says this was right up there next to OJ getting off. You know how, you should not be feeling this much joy, but you do. Weird, right? Because you hate. We're humans. Can we just go ahead and say that? We are humans. And as humans, somewhere in our gut, as I said before, we got good parts and bad parts. I know all of mine. I know all the good, all the bad. And I do know that there is that little bit of justice was served in the moment. Because I really do believe people are good to start jumping up and being Billy Bad until somebody pop up and like really put the hammer down. All of a sudden it changes the conversation. Because it was all good when it was like, 6-on-1? And now you got you got WWE going down on the docks. Gary says, I enjoyed it so much. I know I was supposed to enjoy it. He said, no chairs were harmed in the making of those videos. No, they were not. But here's the point, as he says, sometimes we see that non-existent hand of justice and you just hate. You really hate to go to that place of, I want to see somebody get served in the moment. You hate to see it, but there is a place where maybe we need just a little bit more of it, just a little bit more of it. Because all those people who have been doing some really ridiculous things in these restaurants, I'm telling you, if there was somebody in that restaurant who just cold cock one of them, they would probably cut that stuff out. I'm sure they would, because it's all good until someone holds you accountable. When that accountability comes in, all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, I was just feeling upset. I was just really hungry and I hadn't had anything and my sugar was low. It changes the narrative. It really does. Erica says the kid in Memphis was beat unconscious in the middle of Cheddar's. Oh, I didn't get that. Because he didn't seat a group in the same area. I did not know that. Now, I have to ask this. How did that even happen? Because this is where I go back to, where are we with our humanity? Are we so desensitized? And are we so concerned about ourselves that we won't jump in and stop what is clearly not right? The people who were with the person who assaulted that guy, and I need to check that story out. I did not see that. You mean to tell me no one in that group said, oh my God, this is assault. This is wrong. No one said this should not be happening. What, do we all just grab our phones and like record it because it's entertainment? Like, what is wrong with us? Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, if that was there is no way I could sit still and enjoy a meal in a restaurant, seeing someone else being assaulted. There has to be a line of humanity. It's gotta be. Otherwise, what's the point? Now, I know we are some sick animals, and I'm gonna tell you right now, humans are the worst. The worst. But there has to be someone in your group who holds you accountable when you get out of pocket. Otherwise, you are the company that you keep. Just saying. Can we say that too? Spencer says, my white friends called me to apologize. Not sure why, but I was so caught up. I forgave them. I even called one white friend and was like, did you see the video? Don't you have something to say to me? Spencer, cut it out. Cut it out. Oh my God, it's so stupid. My brother says, I cry till this day when I think about the days of the past, but it only leads to anger and resentment. That's not what I want to become. And I agree with that. I agree with that completely. Because you don't want to get to a place of being bitter, right? And it's just, there's so many emotions here as an African-American woman, all right? And if you are a person who has experienced any kind of bias or racism, sexism, all the isms, then you understand there's so many emotions that, yes, on the one hand, I want to be a really good human. But on the other hand, if you cross me, God bless it, I am going to go to jail. I'm going to go ahead and call it. I don't have any problems owning up to how I feel about some things. You don't want to go there. But at the end of the day, it just really gets beside you. That, again, I go back to the people who were in Cheddar's. And Erica, tell me, how did that Like, did somebody jump in and stop it? Because you can't tell me that you were sitting here enjoying your hamburger and your steak and whatever else while this young man is being assaulted. You cannot tell me that that feels normal to you. Or is that where we are with our society? That we're so in tune with violence that we just like, that's just no big deal. Let me just keep on eating my fries because my fries are getting cold. My fries are getting cold. Is that where we are now? Hey, shout out to Cut Game 713. I'm getting into fighting, throwing elbows. Okay, so I'm not going to lie. The Houstons and the Jacksons were slightly violent people. I'm just going to say it. I think it's because of our great grandfathers. I'm going to go ahead and call that out. It just might be like my grandfather. I don't know. All right. Hater says, so a couple of points I want to make. First, I want to say there is a large percentage of good people out there who are willing to step in and help. Thank you, Hater. And this situation has some elements that need to be talked about. You know what? You were right. I mean, it's just, there are so many things here. So many things. Let me pause on that one. Let me pause because I want to get into one more thing about this particular topic because we're not done. We're not done yet. All right, so here's the deal. I want to go right down here what it says. He says, while violence is never the ideal, self-defense has a morally universal appeal and justification. And there comes a time when defense is the only option, when standing upright is the only appropriate posture, describing the events in this case. Even Montgomery's police chief pointed out that members of the riverboat's crew came to Mr. Pickett's defense. And the church shall say, amen. There's got to be a place somewhere in here that, yes, we're not saying come prepared to like be fighting everybody that you see. What we are saying, though, is there's got to be a place where you say, not today. Not today, not now, not ever, no more. We have to find that spot in us that says we are going to stand up for what is right. Because what happened on that dock was so past wrong, so past, that yeah, everybody on that dock deserved to get a chair and whoop some ass. Mama, I'm sorry. But they deserved to do it. They had every right to do it. Call it what it is. Gary says, some of my white friends hit me up. Wow. Ain't none of my white friends call me. Ain't none of my friends call me. Maybe I need to check my friends. They were like, folks got exactly what they deserved. What is the ally signal so that y'all know I'm on your side? Oh my God. Oh man, times are changing. And Hainer, and he wants to add in that the guys was working and he had to deal with facing violent entitlement. And that's what it is. It's entitlement. I'll say it again, man. The stuff that is happening right here, right now is so beyond ridiculous that people, you can say whatever you want to say. I would tell you that you can. You also have the right to get popped in your mouth when you say the wrong thing to the wrong person. What was that T.I. say? What did it say? Consequences, repercussions? Yes, that is what's going down. Erica says no one stopped it. They just have really? Are you kidding me? I have to think that we have got to a place where we are desensitized, and we have just lost the care for others. Is that what it is? Because you cannot tell me, but clearly that people were just sitting there and just filming it. What we called the cops and that's it. And then I go back to the person who attacked the young man, the people he came with. What does that say about those people? I mean, like, really? Because I'm telling you right now, the people I ever hung around with, and I don't have those people, but if they committed a crime, I'm telling you right now, I am calling the cops on you. We're not going down like that. Like, you're not going to come out here and do some janky stuff and drag me down with you. We are not doing that. That is not how Gwendolyn rolls. Danny says, Danny, oh, yeah, okay. All right. I see you, Danny. Oh my God. God says, if you hit me, I'm hitting back, but a certain group of people has a passive doing brutal acts towards other people. And you are so correct, sir. You are very correct, which is probably why they felt perfectly fine and jumping this man and then just walking off like nothing is going to happen. And there's always one where my brother's like, G is cussing. Well, you know what? I've said worse. So it's, I've said worse. So we're not going to stay there. But I do want to lean into one other thing here, right? And we talked about this as well. You know, we talked about vigilante justice. We also talked about cancel culture. And let me say this right here, right now. Chris Brown, okay, he has done his time. He has done his time. And I'm trying to figure out why it is that we are just so hell-bent on trying to make this life really hard for this guy. Right. So, you know, Sierra put out her new song, right? And of course, it's a collaboration with Chris Brown, and people came for her. They were upset. How dare you? How dare you collaborate with Chris Brown? Oh my God, how dare you? Okay, can we just remember two things? One, yes, he was younger. But two, the lady that he abused, Rihanna, has forgiven him. They have a relationship to this day. Okay. So I'm trying to figure out why they keep coming for Chris. I just want to know. Because tell me, I mean, I really need to know. You're telling me that this guy who, yes, he did abuse Rihanna. They have worked out their thing. She's gone to therapy. He's gone to therapy. I get all that. But there are so many other things happening in the world that I'm just trying to figure out, that every time he pops up, they're like, oh my God, and Chris Brown is back, and you know he abused somebody. Da, 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 da. I'll say this real quick. For those of us throwing these stones, you give me a break. Like, really, give me a break. For all the things that are happening in the world, this is not the worst thing. And the man has done his time. He's done all of whatever needed to be done. Let it go. I don't know why they keep coming for him. Part of me believes that maybe because he's so talented in our society, and I'm going to say it, we are some sick individuals. We wait for people to fall from grace. We are like lions looking at a gazelle. We are zoomed in on it. We are just waiting for the moment for this perfect person to fall down. And when they do, we jump on them like, ugh. We just can't wait for it. Because, you know, God forbid if you're actually happy and living your life and fulfilling your purpose, God forbid, we just can't have it. We can't have it. We do those things. This is our society. We look for the smallest thing, and we keep grinding at it and grinding at it and grinding at it, and we keep bringing it up every single day. Forget the fact that all of us fall short. You know what I'm saying? We all do. You sit in your glass house throwing your stones and stuff, and I don't even want to talk about, Gwendolyn, don't do it. Don't want to talk about some of these other persons. And I'm going to say it, when you commit crimes against kids, that's where I draw the line. That's like my no. And the fact that we know that we have organizations that protect pedophiles every single day, I don't want to hear about Chris Brown and how he abused Rihanna years ago. Okay? Don't want to hear about that. Don't want to hear about that. You got your ex-president trying to throw a coup on the goddamn country. Oh my God, I'm sorry, mother. But yes, I don't want to hear about that. Erica wants to give us some more context. The line between being a pushover and standing up isn't as thin as people want to believe. That is true. It's not that thin. You are correct there, ma'am. You are very much correct there. Cut Game says that's the old lynch mob without the sheets. It is. It is very much present. I mean, the things happening right now, like we can look at Florida, and God bless Florida. The stuff happening there, the stuff happening in Houston, right? This thing's happening right here in Texas, where they are trying to remove people's rights to vote, right? And just over it, like, I don't like how you guys voted. I'm gonna come in here and change that real quick. These are things that are happening. Real things that matter. Real things that matter. Black Eighth Element says people have to hold you to your past instead of people love to hold you to your past instead of look in the mirror to correct their own life. You know what? I had a thought as I was writing down my topics for today. As you all know, I go by Gwendolyn and people call me G. But when I meet people that I knew in the past who call me Gwen, and every blue moon you meet somebody who brings some old stuff, you don't know me. I am not that person. I'm not that child, that young lady. The woman who stands here before you today is not that person. That's not me, by no means. But people love to bring up what you did in the past. And I personally think it's because they're not happy with themselves. Again, we love, as a society, we love to pounce on those who may be living their best life. We wait to see people fall from grace and we can't wait to jump on it. That's how ill we are. That's how disgusting we are. We just can't wait. We don't understand grace. We don't understand mercy. We create these unrealistic rules to live by, which most of the folks who bring up this stuff don't even live by those rules. Yeah. Gary says a lot of folks only look at the physical abuse and forget a lot of these same people do emotional abuse like it's the norm. It is. I am not one for cancel culture. I am not. But I will tell you, there is a place where I remove people, or I just can't support what they do. And I admit it. R. Kelly is one of those people. Like, he is a pedophile. He is a predator. Sorry? No, I'm not sorry, because it's gross. It is gross. Okay? And he ain't the only pedophile either. Now, I don't want to talk about religion today, Lord bless. I don't want to talk about religion. Your pastors, your preachers, and all your whatnot. I'm not even going to go there today because, I'm out of stones right now. I'm out of stones. I'm not doing it. But yes, this whole cancer culture thing, and I'm not done. I'm not done. It needs to go away. Like, I'm past over it. Marshall, all right, shout out to Marshall. Some of them backyard worse than, yes, they are worse. I'm telling you. But the young man is talented. He is extremely talented. And I gotta believe that the fact that he is so talented and he is so good at what he does, people just hate to see him thrive. So I got one more for you. This is my last one, people, because this one really got me in my feelings. I'm not gonna lie to you. Lizzo. Okay, so I want to talk about the state of work. And Mama, I'm going to go ahead and say, please forgive me because I might just say some things. The state of work. Every single one of us, whether you're watching now or in the replay, understand this. We are each a villain in someone's story. We are. I know you're thinking there is no way that anyone would think that I cause them harm. No. We are each the villain in someone's story. You may or may not know it, but trust and believe. And I can tell you from experience, recent experience, I am fully aware that the person who wants to walk in your shoes and in your shadow is the same person that when the moment hits them will come for you. And they love to use trigger language, like, oh my God, I felt so threatened. And I felt like it was just so hostile. Yes, that's real. That is real. So the state of work, when it comes to work, the part that's missing in the American society, because that's all I know, is that we have moved from a place of caring and compassionate conversations and communication with each other to a place of, I'm going to file a lawsuit. We've moved from a place of someone can hold me accountable to a place of, I don't like the way you said that and you made me feel some kind of way. Gary, please make sure that I say this right. Was it Adam Smith who says facts are not feelings and feelings are not facts? They're not. They are by no means the same. And I can't help but notice this shift, which is so bloody ridiculous, that those persons who are in management and what have you are removed from having any kind of feeling, any kind of protection, any kind of anything. to a place where, well, you know what, that's so-and-so's perception and their perception is reality and you really need to be caring about their reality. Mama, I'm sorry, that's bullshit, okay? It is. It is about the biggest bag I have ever seen. It is baloney. You not holding yourself accountable for lacking emotional intelligence is not my issue. It is not my issue. It is not. Now, let me tell you about Lizzo real quick. Here's my thought about it. Here's my thought. If people really cared about Lizzo, they would have gave her feedback in the moment. If they really felt like, I just can't believe this is happening, they would have gave feedback in the moment. See, I come from a place, I'm old school. I'm old school. That when people cared about you, they gave you constant, consistent, compassionate, caring feedback in the moment. They were like, you know what, G, this isn't really great. You should adjust blah, blah, and blah, because they want to see you succeed. This is not criticism. Hear me clearly. This is feedback. It's not criticism. This is someone saying, I want to see you grow. I love what you're doing. You're a badass, and I want to see you go to this next level. So I'm going to give you all the clues to do that. Now, I'm not saying that her dancers don't feel the way they feel and weren't treated the way they were treated. I'm not saying any of that. What I am saying, though, is that I find it funny that whenever something doesn't go quite right for us, the first thing we do as a society is jump on the lawsuit bandwagon. So y'all never had a conversation? Y'all never said, hey, Lizzo, I don't feel so good about blah, blah, blah. I don't know about the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Y'all never said that? Like you would never said, you just, I don't know. I'm not saying one's right, one's wrong. I'm not saying any of that. What I am saying this, do I believe that for her to do whatever she's doing, she may be seen as a little harsh in her direction or like really tight on the reins? Yeah, I'm telling you right now, when I would travel, people would be like, oh my God, Gwendolyn's here, oh my God. Before the week is over, Mama, I'm sorry. They'd be like, when is that bitch going home? And I kid you not, we have heard the words. Oh, seriously. That's how folks feel about you. One moment they are all in your bosom, all in your breast, all in your face. The next moment when you don't give them whatever it is you want, and I will tell you, I had someone tell me that I didn't give them the welcome they were accustomed to. Then it becomes, oh, you know, she's a problem. And she did this and she did that. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know which way this goes. I really don't. Am I a fan of lawsuits? I'm not a fan of that either. I'm not. I'm not a fan of it. I feel like there's other ways to resolve things. Now, the advice that some lawyer guy, I think it's more like a brand strategist, his advice was that you're in the public sphere and you have made your career as not merely a music sensation, but a public advocate for body image, women, and LGBTQ matters, among others. You have to consciously live your life as if you're in a bubble being watched and judged. Yes, you're human and prone to human failings, but when you make your image that of an advocate, you take on more responsibility and must understand the consequences of being in truth, something less of what you preach. Apologize for real, express true understanding of the failing and the issues, and swallow your pride and just show compassion. I can't even say the word because my mom was watching, but trust. Give me a break. Cut it out. Lizzo is no different than me or anybody else here running the team, managing the team, working with somebody. She is no different. As a matter of fact, let me just say this real quick. Since we want to talk about lawsuits, what I would love is for the employees at the Applebee's out there close to Harlem, Georgia, they should file a lawsuit, right? Because the environment they're working in, that's a baloney. The people down there in Knoxville and Walmart, where they had what? I want to say maybe 12 self-checkout registers open, 0 other registers open. The store is trashed. They should file a lawsuit. You want to talk about perception and reality and working in some jacked up environments? Get out there on the street, because it's some foolishness out there. Straight foolishness. The fact that people want to talk about folks don't want to work and don't want to do this. Well, look at the environments. Look at them. So no, do I think that there was sexual harassment, something about religious harassment, something about not being able to leave, all kinds of, like I said, I don't know. All I know is this: Lizzo is not canceled. Chris is not canceled. This is real life. If you got problems, bring them to the table. Let's talk about it and figure it out. But I could have sworn you work at will. You don't want to work? You don't want to do the dance? Then go do something else. It's very simple. And I'm going to say this too. I'm not a Beyonce fan, but she's a Virgo. I know good and darn well that woman probably has some standards, okay? You can't tell me she don't. She's a Virgo. And I'm a Virgo too, so I know she got standards. I already know it. And yes, thank you. Thank you, brother, for reading my mind next. I won't say it. I won't say it out loud. Erica says, Tammy from The Real World 2 was the same. She was laughing the whole time. Old boy was dragging her. Right, I remember that. And then later she said she didn't like it and talked about feeling harassed and everything. I get it. Can some jokes go too far? And trust me, like, I've done my due diligence with employment law because that was my job. I understand that someone can laugh and smile in the moment and then turn around and say, hey, I felt harassed, or I felt like I had to laugh and smile. I get that. I am not saying that that's not legit. I'm not saying that. What I am saying, though, is that I do know that when people go with the perception mindset, and that people who are, let's just call it celebrities, singers, whatever, people in the limelight, people who have like their light on them, that they are now held to a different standard, that's baloney. These are real people paying real bills with real kids and real problems. That is it. And if they're running a business, they got to run a business. They are not Susie Homemaker. They're not like Perfect Patty. They're not those people. They're real people, right? Who have real lives, and they have bad days and good days, just like the rest of us. So this whole idea that she has to like apologize for probably absolutely nothing, that is baloney. I ain't apologizing for jack. No. Now, I will say this. When I was out of pocket, Gwendolyn apologized. I had no problem because I was out of pocket. When you are self-aware, you can do those things. You'd be like, you know what? That was wrong of me. I should not have said that. I should not have spoke to you in that manner. And I apologize for doing it. Plain and simple. We have done that. When you know you're wrong, you call yourself out. Again, we don't know what happened in those rooms. We don't know what happened while they were on the road, all this other stuff. But supposedly there's more people coming out. And that's the part that gets me. Now, this is not the same thing as some other stuff. And I get like, oh my God, Lizzo is a perfect person. But I will say this. If you ever go dumpster diving in comments, the comments about her were disgusting. The people who attacked her immediately attacked her weight. They attacked everything about her. Again, they were waiting for her to fail. Our society, we are jacked up from the flow up. Like, we are messed up people. I just don't understand. But I will tell you this. I want to thank you all for tuning in today. Wherever you were watching, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, wherever you were watching, thank you for tuning in today. I don't know if you guys are going to come back around. We got a special tonight. We have Renina. She's from Black Girls, or from the future. Yes, she is celebrating her 10th anniversary on Small Biz Bites. If you are available, come on in. We're having cocktails, a couple little nibbles. We're going to have a good time. That's what we're going to do. But thank you all for tuning in. Again, like, share, subscribe. We'll be back next week. I had to get that off my chest. All right. See you.